There's considerable research that suggests a beautiful garden environment is vitally important when it comes to the recovery of people who've been through operations or are suffering from illnesses. So I'm quite fascinated to have a look at the amazing work that's been done with the landscaping here at Fiona Stanley Hospital in Western Australia. Deep Green Landscapes had the role of installing the gardens, so I've caught up with Julian Rose, the Managing Director, to find out what went into the design and how they've managed to get such great success with the plantings. Julian, Deep Green Landscapes has done some pretty amazing projects around Perth. You guys get these jobs because of the success rate you have. What's the key to gardening successfully in the Perth climate?
Well, I think, Trevor, the fact that we're having to deal with such sandy soils here in Perth is all about looking at how we can treat the soil and how we can get fertiliser to those plants, but also putting a lot of the plants in, like we did at Fiona Stanley here, in a small size so that we can really establish some great root growth to those plant stocks and let them grow into their environment.
The gardens utilise a broad spectrum of plants, including some exotics inside and natives in the outside plantings, used together to create maximum effect. Now, sometimes people would avoid putting the two together, but Julian's achieved a great result in both the plants working complementing each other, but also the successful plantings throughout the broader grounds and gardens. So, Julian, you've planted them all out. Have they gone into improved soil, or are you able to use the local soil? Is that important?
So what we did, Trevor, we used some expertise of the people around us and the knowledge of them to get the soil right here.
Yep.
We worked with Hassel Landscape Architects and also George Lulfitz, who was growing all of the plants for us.
Yep.
And we blended a very simple topsoil so that it wasn't a strong, heavy soil. It was a free-draining, sandy topsoil. We put that in at about 100 millimetres thick to help with water retention. And then with every one of the plants that we put in, we used the Triforte fertiliser tablets. The great thing about the Triforte is that it's a blend of microorganisms as well as fertilisers.
Yep.
And the thing that we've seen on a lot of our commercial projects is trying to get the nutrients out of that existing soil as well.
Yep.
And that's where the microorganisms in these tablets really help. So they help the plants and the roots of the plants absorb any other nutrients that are out of that soil as well. And we did trials on this site here before we sort of launched into purchasing a huge amount of that fertiliser, and we just saw that the plant growth did really well. And the great thing about this project was, because we started over in the far corner, we were able to play around with that plant stock right at the start to really get the balance of it right. So once we started rolling through the whole site, we really had it down pat.
And you could see the results probably in the first stage.
You can.
Which gives you confidence as you're planting out the front of the building.
Exactly, and you can see it right through the site now. All of the plant stock's doing very well.
Now, the lessons learnt from the commercial plantings can be applied in your own home garden. You can actually get those Triforte planting tablets, and here's my recommendation. Whenever you buy any plant at your local garden centre, make sure you pop one of these into the hole. But if you've got existing trees, like this beautiful Tamarillo, or even a starter like this sugarcane, pop at least one or two of these pills into the ground around their roots now. It's going to stimulate amazing growth, and the most important thing about it is it really improves the health of the soil, meaning that your plants are going to perform to their best possible standard. It's a brand new product, and boy, oh boy, does it work.